morning and welcome to Museum Munchkins. I'm Mr. Nick and today we are celebrating Earth Day. And we're going to be talking all about how you and I can help save the planet and learn to protect our home. But first, we're going to start off by singing a song about recycling. So if you want to stand up on your feet, we can sing our song together. All right, now, so this song is called the recycling song. And in this song, we are going to save up some things that can be recycled around our house, and we're going to throw them in the recycling bin. So we're going to practice saving things. Can we practice like we're grabbing things with our hands like this? Very good. We're going to be saving things, and then we're going to throw them in the bin. Very good. Can we practice throwing them in the bin just like this? Just like that. Absolutely. Very good. So we're going to see all sorts of things we can collect from around our house to save in the recycling bin. Here we go. So the first thing is save your cans. Can you grab some cans and throw them in the bin? We can help save the earth if we all pitch in. Very good. Now the next thing we're going to be grabbing, we grab some cans. Now let's grab some paper. Save the paper. Throw it in the bin. We can help save the earth if we all pitch in. Very good. Next, let's grab some bottles. We can grab some bottles and recycle those too. So, save the bottles. Throw them in the bin. Very good. We can help save the earth if we all pitch in. And how about, plastic? Plastic is a great thing for us to recycle. Save your plastics. Throw them in the bin. We can help save the earth if we all pitch in. Excellent job grabbing and saving those things and throwing them in the recycling bin. Very good. I'm going to set my guitar down so that we can talk all about Earth Day. So whether you know it or not, you've actually celebrated lots of Earth Days because actually this year is the 51st annual Earth Day. So Earth Day was first started in 1970, and it is a special day that we celebrate every year on April 22nd with people all over the world so that we can learn about the ways that each and every one of us can come together and help to protect the earth and to protect our home. Now the earth is our home, but we don't always treat it the best. So you might have heard of grown-ups talking about things like climate change or pollution, and these are things that us humans do to the planet that make it harder for us and for everything else. Like all of the wonderful animals that we talk about at Museum Munchkins every week, it makes it harder for us to survive here on our planet. So Earth Day was started so that we could help remind us and each other to help do our part to take care of our planet, because it's the only one that we've got. Now you might be thinking, I don't know if I'm big enough or old enough or strong enough or smart enough to be able to help with something so big as working to save the planet. But you are. And there are things that each and every single one of us can do every single day to help protect planet Earth. So one very good one to start with is, like we talked about in our song, recycling. So recycling just one soda can will save enough energy to power a TV for 3 hours. Isn't that amazing? And the amount of garbage that even just us Americans throw away every year could fill enough garbage trucks that we could stretch halfway to the moon. That's a lot of trash. So we should always remember that things like toilet paper tubes and cardboard and plastic bottles and glass bottles and jars, those can be used again and they can be recycled. But also, even before we think about throwing things in the bin, we could also think about, is there something that I could recycle this item into? Maybe if you're looking for somewhere to keep your pencil, all your colored pencils or your markers, and there's a jar, a big jar in the recycling, you could use that jar to help store all of your art supplies. So you could use empty paper tubes to make some binoculars or a telescope to look at the stars, or you could even repurpose plastic bottles into planters to help grow some plants around your house. There's lots of different things that we can repurpose and recycle our waste into something else. Another thing you can do is when you go to the store, you can bring a bag from home to use at the store rather than using one of the plastic bags that you would get at the grocery store, at a store that you would go to buy something at. You could even decorate a bag, a reusable bag, so that's your special going to the store bag. That could be fun, wouldn't it? Another thing we could do to help save our planet is you could plant a tree. And so about 15 billion trees are cut down every year for us to use to make paper products or building materials or to use as fuel. So we can always do our part to help plant new ones. So trees are really important because they make the oxygen in our atmosphere that we breathe, and they turn carbon dioxide into oxygen, which is what we breathe out. The carbon dioxide we breathe out, and the plants take it, the trees take it, and turn it into oxygen for us to breathe again. It's a great system as long as we have enough trees to help us out. And they also provide lots of good food and shelter for animals, lots of animals all around the planet. Another really easy thing, though, easier than planting a tree even, another thing that you can do to help save the planet is turn off the lights. So if it's a nice, bright, sunny day outside, or even if it's just daytime and it's cloudy, if you don't need the lights on in your room to see while you're playing, you could keep the lights in your room off. If there's enough light for us to see just coming in through the windows, then we don't need to turn the lights on. But if we do have the lights on, we should remember to turn them off again if we leave the room where the lights are turned on. That's a simple thing that we can all do to help save some energy. Another thing you could do is turn off the water while you brush your teeth. So sometimes people leave the water running while they're brushing their teeth, and that can waste a lot of water. So just turning off the sink while you brush your teeth can save about 8 gallons of water every single day. That's a ton of water. And taking shorter showers, if you take showers, it can also help to save water too. Sometimes we stay in the shower for a really long time just because it feels nice with the warm water on our bodies, but if we take a shorter shower, that's better for our planet. Now, another really easy thing and a really good one that I like is you could go for a walk, and when you go for a walk outside, bring a bag with you, a trash bag, or one of your reusable bags. Maybe you can have a reusable bag that's just I'm going for a walk and I'm going to pick up trash bag. That sounds like fun, right? So you can go for a walk, and with your bag, anytime you see a piece of trash on the ground in your neighborhood or at a park or on the beach, you can pick it up and put it in your bag so you can make sure that it goes into the trash when you get home instead of being all over the place in our environment. So that is a big thing you can do to help out too. So that would not only help make our streets and our sidewalks and neighborhoods and cities and towns look a lot better, but it also keeps that trash out of the environment where it bothers plants and animals too. So it's a great idea to pick up all that trash while we're out and about, and we're getting exercise then too. And in fact, if you're walking places too, that's helping the planet. It's just if you walk somewhere instead of driving. So for every mile somebody walks instead of driving, you keep about a pound of pollution out of the air, which is really great. But one of the most important things, maybe the most important thing that we can do to help protect the earth is all of the things that we've talked about today and all of the animals that we learn about every week at Museum Munchkins, is talk to people about that stuff. Talk to people about protecting the earth and turning off the lights when you leave a room and recycling things that can be recycled or repurposing things that can be repurposed. All sorts of things that we can do to help protect our planet each and every day. And actually, all that stuff that goes in the trash, I've got a special story today about what actually happens to our trash when we throw it away. So let's go check that out, and then we're going to make a special craft today just for Earth Day. Today's story is Green Machine, the slightly gross truth about turning your food scraps into green energy, by Rebecca Donnelly and illustrated by Christophe Jacques. Food grows and food goes from the farm to the town, to the market, the kitchen, the plate. We meet and we eat. When we're done, there's a mound of the scraps left from all that we ate. We pick out slick pits, crunchy husks, chewed on cobs, empty pods, stringy stalks, and bruised fruit. They sit in the bin in a soft, soggy blob till the truck picks them up on its route. Call it Peels on Wheels or a truck full of yuck. It's a food scraps collection machine. It takes all the waste and some slime and some muck to a place where the garbage goes green. A place where the waste isn't wasted. A tank with the power to power our town, where trash becomes gas and good riddance that stank. That's the power of food breaking down. Inside this vast tank is a puddle of sludge, a wet mess, goopy, sewery soup. It's airtight in there, no O2 for these bugs, tiny microbes that eat food plus poop. Just add the scraps. Could that odor get worse? And some liquid to mix them all in. The bugs in the sludge do their slow, murky work. Anaerobic digestion begins. The goop stays for days in the tank, in the dark, while the biogas forms. Bubble, blub. It flies through the wires. Ooh. Gas feeds the engine to generate sparks. Electricity made from old grub. It flies through the wires, making light, making heat. We gather in gathering dusk. Celebration again. We meet and we eat. When we're finished, we gather the husks. And then what happens? Composted food scraps are collected and transported to a processing plant. Food scraps are cleaned of garbage and ground up. Mixed with liquid, the food scraps sludge goes in the anaerobic digester where bugs get to work. Biogas is produced and captured in the tank. The gas travels through a pipe from the tank to a generator where it is processed to make electricity. Electricity is fed into the energy grid available to light, heat, and power homes. It is a big circle. The end. All right, so for today's activity, I'm going to show you how to turn this plastic bottle into a planter that you can hang up or put somewhere in your house to grow some plants with. So for this activity, we're going to need a plastic bottle, and then I'm going to use I've got a spoon here for scooping my dirt. I've got this old piece of twine that I found that I'm going to repurpose along with my bottle to make sort of a hanger for my planter. I've got a little dowel here that I'm going to use to poke holes in the dirt. And some seeds for me to plant. And I've also got some dirt. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm also going to need some hole punchers. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the top of this plastic bottle. So this is a thing that we will need an adult's help with. We're cutting around the edge of this, cutting off the top of it. There we go. So this part I don't actually need, but I bet I could find another thing to repurpose just the top of this with. I've got the cap that screws on nice and tight there. And some people actually, I've seen, have put a bag over the top of this, and they put things in the bag, and then you can use the top of the cap to screw the bag shut again. So there's other things we can repurpose the top of it for, but we don't need the top for our planter. All right, so I've got my empty bottle here, and now I'm going to use my hole punch, and on both sides of my planter, about a ½ an inch down, I'm going to punch a hole. Now it's important for us to recycle or reuse our or repurpose our plastics because plastic doesn't break down very easily. In fact, a plastic bottle like this could take hundreds of years for our planet to break down and get rid of. So I want to find another use for it. So now that I've got my holes punched, I'm going to fill it up with some dirt. So I could use my spoon to scoop it out, or I could just scoop some out straight out of the bag like this. There we go. I might want a little bit more dirt there. And this is special potting dirt that I got from the store, but you could just use dirt from outside too. Okay, so I'm going to fill up this container. I don't want to fill it above those holes that I punched, so I'm going to stop before I get to them. There we go. So I've got my holes still right there where I can reach them. And now I'm going to take my dowel and I'm going to push down, not too deep. It depends on what sort of seeds you're using here, but I'm going to go down about a ½ an inch to an inch, and I'm going to put some seeds in each of these holes that I poked in the dirt. There we go. Some in that one. I want to make sure that they're covered up with dirt. And I got one more hole here I'm going to put some seeds into. There we go. Let's cover those up. And now I'll put a little bit of water in there. I don't want to overfill it. I only want to put enough water in there to make the soil nice and moist, good for a good environment for those seeds to grow in. But I do want to make sure that I check it every day and make sure that the dirt isn't getting too dry. And then I'm going to you could just set this like this on your windowsill or a nice sunny place in your house, or hang it outside. But I'm going to tie this old twine that I found through those holes so that I can hang this up out in my garden at home and see what sort of things I grow from my seeds. See if my seeds grow. Do you think that they're going to grow? I hope so. But it's something then that I can check on, and I could measure how tall they get every day or how much they grow every day. It's always fun to have a gardening project like that you can keep an eye on. And there we go. Now I had an old water bottle, but now I have a hanging planter that I can hang up in my garden. So this Earth Day, it's always good to remember what are ways not only that we can recycle things that we have around our house, but ways that we can repurpose things that we might not have thought of that we could use before, but we could probably find a use for them, like an old water bottle being turned into a planter. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful Earth Day, and we will see you next time.